Well, good Wednesday morning, everybody. It's good to speak with you again. We had a wonderful weekend this past weekend together here at church. Those of you who are checking in from other locations, you are missed, but it was wonderful we had actually 74 people in the nave here in the sanctuary for Sunday service. That was the most we've had since over a year ago now. Amazing. Pretty soon we're going to have a whole lot more than that probably as we move into Easter. I was working on the customaries, the bulletins for each of the services in Holy Week and on Easter, back and forth between myself and Lynn Tabor, the parish administrator, and Chuck with the music, and we're getting close to having that all wrapped up. Speaking of Easter, I was talking with the other clergy this morning. I really enjoy a little bit of the holiness and the mystery that incense brings and chanting brings. That being said, we will be doing some chanting this Easter season. We will not be doing the incense. And with this coronavirus and the respiratory issues that often kind of come along with that, just doesn't seem like it's the best time, unfortunately, to quite bring that back in. Aiming for next year's Holy Week and Easter, I expect to do a little bit of that. We won't totally inundate everybody with smoke and everything, but we will be. I'm expecting to do a little bit more of that next year. So stay tuned. That's something that still we have to look forward to another year down the road probably. The other thing I wanted to mention, I realized this morning that I had spoken with a couple people, at least one or two last Sunday and at least one since then, about March 19th being the feast of St. Joseph and how meaningful and important that feast day is and Joseph is, especially those who have a Roman Catholic background and from certain parts of the country and ethnic background, very meaningful. And so I told these folks I was going to at least bring it up on Sunday. Guess what? Out of my mind, and I forgot it. So guess what? I'm making up for that today, and I'm going to mention about St. Joseph. And as I was looking this morning about this, I didn't realize how significant the feast day of St. Joseph is this year. Because as I was looking at this, last December 8th, 2020, St. Francis designated the whole year from December 8th, 2020 till December 8th, 2021 as a year of St. Joseph. Why? Because this is the 150th anniversary of the founding of the feast day of St. Joseph, which was by Pope Pius IX in the year 1870. And so 150 years, that makes it a real significant one. So I thought I'd read a little bit, and this is actually from a Jesuit blog about St. Joseph. And here's what the author had to say, this Jesuit priest. St. Joseph today continues to be a mystery for many Christians. He remains just an older saint that stands behind Mary and Jesus in most Christian art. A familiar statue to place in our nativity sets during Christmas. Or if you're trying to sell your home upside down at the corner of your home, a pious devotional figure for grandmothers or more traditional Catholics. But if Jesus was willing to learn from Joseph, surely we all have something to learn from his invaluable wisdom. And so here are a few lessons on St. Joseph. Lesson 1, actions still speak louder than words. St. Joseph speaks a grand total of 0 words in the Gospels. He only makes an appearance in 2 of the 4 Gospels, Matthew and Luke. In fact, the Gospel of Mark doesn't mention his name at all, and the Gospel of John only has 2 passing references to Jesus as the son of Joseph. There it is. That's it. St. Joseph's hidden life is his statement. He is the quintessential model of the phrase, "Actions speak louder than words." He was not worried about announcing to the world everything he did. He was not worried about leaving his public legacy. In fact, if I was St. Joseph, I can easily imagine the temptation to publish the uniqueness or even the blessing that was my life on social media. So here's how he might have done it if this author had been St. Joseph. Social media. Ready? What a grace to be the stepdad of the Son of God. #blessed. Here's another. I am married to the most beautiful woman in the world. #Mother of God. Or here's a third. Check out my amazing carpentry. #best carpenter alive. Joseph didn't spend time talking about his mission. He spent his time living his mission. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2. The name Joseph is a reminder that my life is not about me. Joseph lived his name. The name Joseph comes from the Hebrew word to add or to increase. For Joseph, it was not added personal blessings or even added personal sanctity he received to show off to the world, but rather Joseph increased glory always for those around him first. Let me say that again. Joseph increased the glory always for those around him first. In his case, always directing his energy towards Mary and Jesus. His entire life focused on loving the people right in front of him, his wife and his son. In doing something so ordinary with extraordinary love, he fulfilled God's mission for his life and helped Jesus fulfill his. This is precisely why he became a model for me of what the ideal Christian life is about. To be a true person for others is to give all glory to Christ. Third lesson, we are all called to encounter God's loving justice, personally and socially. During the year of St. Joseph, Pope Francis wants to make clear that the work of a more just world is not separate from the interior work of the spiritual life. They are one. Based on Joseph's lessons to us, I don't think the saint would mind if we get to the heart of what this year is truly about. A year of radical conversion for all, through his intercession and example that always points to Jesus. Therefore, using Ignatian terminology, St. Joseph's emphasis on both a deeper prayer life and a life of work are exactly what we need to heal a divided world that sees these two sides of our church, the spiritual liturgical versus the social justice, as inherently split. As a good father, Joseph wants to reconcile his children and help them mature individually and collectively in wisdom, age, and favor before God and humanity, from Luke 2:52. This definitely will require us to learn to deal with many disagreements, learn from each other's strengths, improve on our own weaknesses, and this is exactly why we need Joseph's intercession and example. While there is not a single written word in the Gospels spoken by Joseph, maybe this was to remind us Jesuits and all of humanity to speak a little less, love a little more, and most importantly, strive to live the gospel message every day. St. Joseph's life is the embodiment of that other famous Ignatian quote, "Love ought to be put more in deeds than in words." Amen.